once again for allowing us to be here in this atmosphere, that we can indulge ourselves into the words of eternal life. Anything else that is going on, anything else in life means nothing. Your word is more important than anything, for it is more precious than silver and gold. For it is already written in your word that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from your mouth. So tonight we ask that you help us rightly to divide the word and give us understanding this evening. We ask this in the mighty name of Yeshua. Amen. Amen. All right. I want to open up with Matthew chapter 15. Matthew chapter 15. Let's go to this verse here. This will be our springboard verse here. Our springboard verse. Matthew chapter 15. We'll just read verse 24.
But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Okay, that's our lessons tonight. What I want to bring out tonight in our studying, and this is what I'm doing. I'm on a sabbatical, understanding the shepherds of Israel. As we begin our studying and as we progress in our studying, you will see how highly or how much the scripture speaks about shepherds and the shepherd responsibility over the house of Israel. When we look at a shepherd today, we call him a pastor. But what happens that when we say pastor, we already have a mindset of what a pastor is and how he should dress and so on and so on. But we lose the biblical concept when we take away from pastor or shepherd and call the man of God who is teaching or feeding the people, call him a pastor. We lose so much, you don't realize that. And I'm hoping that in our study tonight and as we progress in this understanding of what is an ancient shepherd, very important. I want to bring you to another verse, Jeremiah 3:15. Let's just lay the foundation down here for a moment, because I want us to understand that the Most High, okay, I want to paint a broad picture so that you can see how valuable a shepherd is in Israel. And so I want to bring us back from the 21st century and try my best to take us to the ancient days when a shepherd was very important in Israel. Jeremiah 3:15.
And I will give you pastors according to the mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And this shall...
So notice what Yah says to Jeremiah, that we're looking at before the carrying away of the Babylonian captivity, that there was a problem in Israel. And the problem was shepherds. And so the Most High pointed out and said, I know the issue with you right now, Israel. The problem is that you have a shepherd problem. A shepherd problem. I'm going to build this up. I'm just going to lay the foundation here. Let's go to Psalms 95. Psalms 95. We'll read verse 7. Psalm 95, verse 7.
For he is our Elohim, and we are the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand. Today, if you will hear his voice.
Today, if you hear his voice. So the psalmist described Israel as the shepherd. The sheep. So if Israel is the sheep, then that means that Yahweh must be the shepherd. We must keep that in mind. Look at Isaiah, the book of Isaiah 53. Isaiah 53. Just trying to lay a little foundation here first. Isaiah 53, verse 7.
He is oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before his shears is dumb.
Go ahead.
So he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living.
What verse you at now?
8.
Okay, so here that and as sheep it says that he opened not his mouth, and then he said he was brought forth as a slaughter, and as a sheep before his shear, as a dumb open mouth, right? So it's speaking of the Messiah. Look at what verse 6. Verse 6 is the key verse here.
All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way.
Okay, so now here, that what I want you to see so far, that we are the sheep, okay? Yahweh is the shepherd, right? Psalms 23 verse 1, a very familiar verse. Verse 1.
Jehovah is my shepherd, I shall not want.
Okay, so here we know who the shepherd is, right? Here we know who the shepherd is. We read verses as Israel is the sheep. We read verses. Matter of fact, I want to read a few more. Let's go to Psalms 80, verse 1. Verse 80, verse 1.
Psalms 80, verse 1. Give ear, O shepherd of Israel, thou that leadest Joseph like a flock. Thou that dwellest between the cherubims, shine forth.
So we see here in the psalm, we say, give ear, O shepherds of Israel. Not pastors, but shepherd. And I taught y'all the other day that the Hebrew word for shepherd is ra'i, and it literally means to watch. A shepherd is a watchman. He has to be able to see the prey. He has to be able to lead and to guide. He's a shepherd. So keep that in mind as we build this. Go to Psalm 100, verse 3.
Know ye that Jehovah, he is Elohim. It is he that had made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture.
You see, what I want you to see as we're building this, I want you to see that we are sheep. So when the scriptures are talking about sheep, it literally talking about people. When we see Abraham having sheep, you have to think about the responsibility that, as we read, our beloved brother Job had over 7,000 sheep. How much responsibility you think that is? To have over 7,000 sheep. And at nighttime is the most dangerous time for a shepherd. Because you got the thieves, you got the wolf, the lion, the bear. So when we look at a shepherd in our ancient world, among our forefathers, it was a dangerous job. Right now, everybody, I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people just think that shepherd is just a, oh, hey, pastor, hey, bishop. Oh, no. When we put this thing back in the ancient world, shepherd was a dangerous job. It was a dangerous job. So keep that in mind. Read that verse again.
Know ye that Jehovah is Elohim. It is he that made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture.
So that means that Yah is leading us. Psalm 23. Yahweh is our shepherd. We shall not want. But the sheep, to be satisfied in Yah, they have to lead him, follow him and hear his voice. Am I right? So sheep must hear the shepherd's voice. Watch this here. Let's go to John chapter 10. It's very important, I said on the Shabbat. You have to ask yourself, are you the shepherd or the sheep? You can't be both. Let's pick it up at verse, let's just start at verse 1. John chapter 10, verse 1.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entered not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, The same is a thief and a
And
robber.
a thief and a robber. They knew exactly what he said. Why? Because I'm laying down at night. I'm protecting my sheep. If you get in my house, that means you're a thief and a robber. Because you didn't come through the door. You didn't knock. You came through the window. You're a thief. Go ahead.
But he that entered in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter open, and the sheep hear his voice. And he call his own sheep by name, and lead them out. And when he put forth his own sheep, he go before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice.
Notice this. I want you to see these terms that here is, especially us in the New Testament, that we see Yeshua coming. The question has to be, why did Yeshua come as a shepherd and not as David, King David? Why? Because we read the verse early that Israel, I did not come but for the what? Lost sheep of the house of Israel. So Israel is scattered abroad. Israel is like a shepherd, sheep. They are lost, they need a shepherd. Am I right? So when Yeshua comes as a shepherd, he's seeking the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We got to keep that in mind. I know that might make other people feel comfortable because we think that Yeshua, a.k.a. Jesus, came for everybody. No, whoever called on the name of Yah can get redeemed or saved, but he literally came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now, I ain't going to even go there. But that's what the book says. That he said out his own mouth that I did not come but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Why? Because they are sheep. They have gone astray. And we're going to break this down tonight. But I want you to see here that Yeshua is using terms that they are familiar with. He said that when I go forth, my sheep hear me. What sheep? The house of Israel, house of Judah. We need to get this right. Watch this here. We're going to come back to this chapter here, but I want to turn over to Matthew chapter 9. Matthew chapter 9. Because I'm trying to paint this picture of shepherds in Israel, in our culture. We knew about shepherd. Our forefathers did. We don't know none of that stuff. Our forefathers, listen, they knew about shepherd. They knew about agriculture. That's why the Most High gave them a land. They had to cultivate the land. But we didn't know none of that stuff. We don't know none of that stuff right now. But I'm trying to get our mind back to where we were, where our forefathers. You know how I know? Because it's in our book. So don't tell me we don't know how to shepherd. We just got to learn. Don't tell me that we don't know how to grow stuff. We just got to learn. Listen, I'm telling you, we got to. So in Matthew chapter 9, right? Matthew chapter 9, verse 35.
And Yeshua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues, and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness, every disease among the people.
Now watch this here.
But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep have no shepherd.
Why was they scattered abroad? Because they had no shepherd. The question would have begun, if Israel is like a sheep, then that means that Israel needs a shepherd. So when Jeremiah, when he says in Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 15, I will raise up shepherds after my own heart. They shall feed you. What? With knowledge and understanding. That's the purpose of the shepherd of Israel, is to feed the people, not to entertain them. To feed them. Very important that we understand that. But he saw the problem of Israel, that they had a problem. They didn't have a shepherd. The reason that they were scattered abroad, because they did not have a shepherd. So that shows important. In Israel, in our people, the people of the book, we always raised up a shepherd. Yah always raised up a shepherd. So if anybody in Israel say, oh, we don't need no shepherd, they don't know the book. They don't know our history. I'll show you. Let's go to Numbers chapter 27. Numbers chapter 27. Because they're going to always be some in Israel, I don't need no shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. No, he always put under shepherds. Yes, Yahweh is our shepherd, but there always be under shepherds to be responsible over the flock. So Moshe realized that he cannot go into the promised land. For those who know the book, you know why. So Moses said, okay, I can't go. So he says in verse chapter 27, verse 15. Listen what he says.
And Moses spoke unto Jehovah, saying, Let Jehovah thy Elohim of the spirits of all flesh set a man over the congregation.
Okay, I can't go. Moses said, I can't go. But listen, set a man over what? The congregation. What people is talking about? Israel. Moses said, listen, I can't go. But listen, they are like sheep. They need a shepherd. Go ahead.
Which may go out before them.
Okay, go not behind them, but what? Before them. Y'all see that? Because why? That's what shepherds do. Shepherds lead. He said that go before them. Go ahead.
And which may go in before them. And which may lead them out.
Those are shepherd terms. Go ahead.
And which may bring them in.
Okay. Why is that, Moses?
That the congregation of Jehovah be not as sheep which have no shepherd.
You see what Moses said? So don't let nobody tell you in Israel that we can just be like sheep, just gone by ourselves. Huh? Don't let nobody tell you that. Anybody tell you that, they got a wolf mentality because they want to get you out there by yourself and eat you alive. That's why the Mushak said, be aware of what? Sheep, in wool clothing. Be aware of them. We have always been warned. Beware of the wolf. So you see, Moses said, no, they need a shepherd. Moses said, they need a shepherd. You cannot just go out there by yourself. You need a shepherd. I'm going to show you what the Mushak says about this here. Go to Matthew chapter 7, verse 15. All we do is lay the foundation right now. Israel, we have a shepherd. The Mushak is the ultimate all shepherd. Yahweh is our shepherd, but he always raised up under shepherds. Never forget that. Matthew chapter 7, verse 15.
Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are raving wolves.
Do you hear this? What the Mushak said? He's teaching them. Beware, be on guard of false prophets, which come to you in what? Sheep clothing. He's warning us here. He's warning us here. Israel always had shepherds. Let's show you something else right quick. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 5. 1 Peter chapter 5. We'll pick up in verse 1 and 2. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 1 and 2. Just trying to lay a foundation so that you can see it clearly.
The elders which are among you, I exhort, who am also an elder and a witness of the suffering of Messiah, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Feed the flock of Elohim which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. So, you see, Peter used those same terms. Feed the flock. Feed the flock is very important. Now, I'm going to show you something here in a minute. So, here is the Messiah. Let's go back to John chapter 10. Let's have a little Bible study, y'all. Let's have a little Bible study here. Because you have to ask yourself, the Mushak tells you what his mission is. Matthew chapter 15, verse 24, he says that I was not sent, but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? Right? Now, I know I turned John chapter 10, but I want to show you something here in the same book of John. In John chapter 11, I'm going to bring something out here. John chapter 11. Here is Yeshua being on trial. But I want you to hear what is being said here. So, they bring Yeshua in,
and put him on trial. And we got one of the high priests that day, Caiaphas, he's running his mouth, right? But I want you to hear what Caiaphas say as they speaking concerning Yeshua the Mashiach. John chapter 11, verse 49. Listen to what he says, guys.
And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, You know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. And this speak he not of himself, but being high priest that year he prophesied that Yeshua should die for that nation.
Notice, he prophesied this here. The text wants us to know that he prophesied this, right? Go ahead.
And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of Elohim that was scattered abroad.
Do you hear that? They understand this here. This was the mission of the Mashiach, the scattered tribe that has been scattered. He was coming as the good shepherd to gather Israel, not to gather Christians and Baptists and Protestants. This is what he was coming, to gather them. We don't understand our book. We do not understand our book. I'm going to show you something here. Let's go to John chapter 7. John chapter 7, verse 32. So keep in mind the verse we started up with. I was not sent but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. First you got to determine who is the house of Israel. I mean, come on, people. We got to read our book. We got to study our book. We got to take it back from the Gentiles, the Baptists, the Protestants. We got to start reading the book the way it was written. John chapter 7, verse 32.
The Pharisees heard that the people murmured such things concerning him, and the Pharisees and the chief priests sent officers to take him. Then said Yeshua unto them, Yet a little while am I with you, and then I go unto him that sent me. You shall seek me, and shall not find me, but where I am, hither ye cannot find. Then said the Jews among themselves, Whither will he go, that he shall not find him, and he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles, and teach the Gentiles.
So those who've been scattered abroad, that's what they're saying, because they understand that Judah came back into the land and what, like 536. But the northern kingdom, which represent our other brothers, 10 tribes, never came back. They were scattered abroad. Yes, some of them came back with Yehuda, Benjamin, the Levites, and some did. But the majority of our family never came back. And this was history that people don't know. This is a history book. This is a history book. And we don't know our history. So as we go back to John chapter 10, and trying to teach history to people over here is like Paul said, can't even do a sound doctrine. You ask the average person, why did Jesus come? Oh, he came to die for our sins. That's not what the Bible teaches. He said out of his own mouth, I did not come. I was not sent, shalom, but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Incredible how we missed this here. Incredible. I'll bring out something in a minute. Now, as we go back to John, I said, right? John chapter 10. I want to bring out something here because I want to break John chapter 10 down and then we're going to move on. So here is Yeshua using terms. What we would know in the ancient world as shepherd terms. They understood this because that's what they did. We're going to deal with this text here as he moved forward. So verse 4, he said that I put forth his own sheep. He go before them and the shepherd follow, and the sheep follow him. Why? For they know his voice. Key terms. I want you to hear this here. For when he put forth his own sheep, so that means all sheep ain't his. His own sheep. We can put that with Matthew chapter 9, 15 to 24. That was not sent but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We read the Psalms. And they followed him. Verse 5.
And a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him. For they know not the voice of strangers.
That is very important. Listen, Yeshua is teaching. What he's teaching? Torah. He said, my sheep ain't going to follow strange teaching. They're not. He's using terms that they all familiar with. This is what I want you to see. Go ahead.
This parable spoke Yeshua unto them, but they understood not what things they were which he spoke unto them. Then said Yeshua unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. And all that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out, and find pasture. The thief come not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly.
Now, we already destroyed this verse here, that this is not talking about the devil. I'm going to show you they understood the context of Yeshua. The same way that in our world we live in, if I say God so loved the world, I guarantee you everybody that read their Bible know what verse I'm talking about, right? If I say God so loved the world, automatic John 3:16 pops in your mind. So when Yeshua is about to say these terms that I am the good shepherd, and he's using these terms, they know exactly what he's talking about, and I'm going to show you. So he says that he is the good shepherd, right? Verse 11.
I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
Now, keep that term in, the good shepherd. What's the difference between a good shepherd and a bad shepherd? The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. The bad shepherd, he's not going to give his life. Go ahead.
But he that is a hireling, and not the shepherd whose own the sheep are not, sees the wolf coming, and leave the sheep, and flee. And the wolf catch them, and scatter the sheep. The hireling fleeth, because he is an hireling, and careth not for the sheep.
Is that not plain and simple with the cashapp? And I'm going to show you the verse he's talking about. What I want you to see as we're studying, in these weeks to come, I want you to see, to understand what the Most High says in Jeremiah 3:15. I will give these shepherds after my own heart. He's telling you the problem in Israel is the shepherd. The problem with us today are shepherds. We call them pastors today. But that's no different. He's saying they're hauling. They're getting paid. That's why they really don't care. Long the bastards keep coming. Keep passing the offering. He's using these terms. I'm going to bring it out to you. Go ahead.
I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and I know of mine.
You don't think he know us? This is the word of Yah. Yah is still the shepherd. And if I'm his sheep, I follow his word. I follow his word. And that's why I say, as long as I stay in this book and teach this book, I'm the under shepherd. You should follow the word. Whether you like me or not, what the word says. What the word said. I'm the under shepherd. I'm not the shepherd myself. I'm the under shepherd. The flock doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the Father. It belongs to the Father. Go ahead.
As the Father know me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also must I bring, and they shall hear my voice. And there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
There shall be one fold. Right now, as we read in John chapter 7, the house of Israel, right, is scattered abroad. We all over the nations. All over the nation. So here come the Mashiach. Now watch this here, how we're going to break this down. Yeshua, they knew exactly what he was talking about. So let's go to Ezekiel chapter 34. No, this bar none. They knew exactly what he was talking about. In Ezekiel, he breaks the good shepherd down and the bad shepherd. Once again, are you a sheep? Or are you the shepherd?
Said 24.
Ezekiel chapter 34. Okay? Now, all we're going to do is just read just a little bit, right? And I'm going to show you something here. That's Ezekiel chapter 34. And you can read the whole chapter 34, but this is the part that the Mushak is talking about, and they would have knew exactly what he was talking about. Because in this chapter, it deals with the bad shepherd and the good shepherd. Verse 11.
For thus says Jehovah Elohim, Behold, I will both search my sheep and seek them out. As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep, and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day.
This is what Yeshua, I'm telling you, this is what Yeshua, who's going to seek us out? Yahweh said, I'm going to seek out my sheep. And don't we say in the New Testament that in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God, and the Word became God? So here's Elohim, the creator of the universe, took on human flesh, and he became a man to come down here to seek for his sheep. That's powerful right there. For that says Adonai Jehovah, behold, even I, verse 11, will both search out my sheep and seek them out. This is what he's doing. This is what he's doing. Yeshua is seeking the sheep. Watch this here. Let's go to this book here. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Let's go to Luke. Luke chapter 15. Luke chapter 15. Watch this. It's powerful. And I ain't even giving you everything. I'm just painting a little picture for you. I want you to understand that this book is about Yahweh seeking out the lost sheep of the house of Israel and the house of Judah, and how you and I get to take part in that. But the only way that I'm going to seek out the lost sheep of the house of Israel, I got to care. I got to have the heart of a shepherd. I got to care about the sheep. So in Luke chapter 15, listen to this verse. Listen to these verses. Luke chapter 15, starting at verse 1.
Then drew near unto him all the publicans and sinners for to hear him.
Now watch this here.
And the Pharisees and scribes murmured, saying, This man receives sinners and eat with them. And he spoke his parable unto them, saying, What man of you, having 100 sheep, if he leaves one of them, does not leave the 99 in the wilderness, and go after that which is lost until he find it? And when he has found it, he lay it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he come home, he called together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep which was lost. I say unto you that likewise joy shall be in heaven over one sinner that repent, more than over 99 just persons which need no repentance.
Now here is Yeshua is teaching again the value of one sheep. The value of one sheep. Here is Yeshua showing us that a shepherd, because he loved the sheep, that he would leave the 99. Now remember, he's not leaving the 99 in the wilderness, because remember we said wilderness, right? He's not leaving it by himself. So that means he got to leave the 99 with the under shepherd. So why he can go seek the lost. Very important. So a shepherd should not be a shepherd if he does not care about the lost. Now the question has to be, guys, whose fault was it that the sheep got lost? Was it the shepherd's fault? Or was it the sheep's fault? That's the question we have to ask. Was it one of those sheep that wouldn't stay in the fold? Because he used an image that you and I would not recognize. Because he said that when he finds the sheep, he takes the sheep and put it on it down. A sheep is not light. A sheep don't weigh no 10 pounds. A sheep don't weigh no 10 pounds. It's heavy. He takes the sheep. He can either do two things. He can break the leg of the sheep, but the text tells us here that he takes the sheep. He said that when 100 sheep and he lose one, the 99 in the wilderness and go out there which is lost. And when he has found it, he lay it on his shoulder, rejoicing. Think about that. He takes the sheep, put it on his shoulder. He carried the sheep. Now, you have to understand that when a sheep is lost, it's going to make some noise. When a sheep, if you don't believe it, do some research. Sheep is going to bleed. They're going to make noise. They're going to make some noise. That's how the shepherd is going to be able to find them, right? He's searching for them. And so as I ponder this, I think like, well, why are we looking for people that don't want to? We looking for people that don't want to be found. we going out there, people don't even realize they lost. See, this sheep was lost. I wonder how much energy that we could be wasting going out to people that don't even realize they lost. I wonder how much energy that we wasting that people that don't want to be found. Huh? Think about that. But as a shepherd, that we must seek that which is lost. Not of that, he didn't say the sheep went astray. The sheep just got lost. Was it one of those sheep that was hanging around? Got sidetracked? Got on Facebook? YouTube? See, there's many ways that we can get lost today, guys. Think about that. Am I right? There are many ways that you can get lost easy. YouTube, Facebook, many other ways. But the question is, do you want to be found? Do you want to be found? This is very important. Let's go to Matthew chapter 18. Let's see how Matthew used this same parable. Matthew chapter 18. Let's pick it up in verse 10. Matthew chapter 18, verse 10.
Take heed that you despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you, that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. For the Son of Man is come to save that which was lost. How think you, if a man have 100 sheep, and one of them be gone astray? And does he not leave the 99 and go unto the mountains and seek that which is gone astray? And if so, be that he find it, verily I say unto you, he rejoiced more of that sheep than of the 99 which were not astray.
Come on, man. Powerful, huh? So here we're teaching about the shepherd attitude of going after the sheep. That's why you have to have a shepherd heart to go after the sheep. Our issue today in the 21st century is that sheep that think they're shepherds. Very, very, very confusing. That a sheep would think that he is a shepherd. And that's the struggle in Israel. We have to understand the difference between knowledge, having information, and having anointing. Having information and having a calling. Very important. If we don't understand this, Israel, our responsibility of the leaders and your responsibility as a sheep, we will always be confused. Always be confused. Look at Matthew chapter 4, verse 18 and 19. Read verse 18 and 19 for me.
And Yeshua, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simeon called Peter and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. And he said unto them, Follow me, I will make you fishers of men.
So notice this here. This is the ministry of Yeshua, starting his ministry. Now he's recruiting. Why? Because he's on a mission. He understands that he was not sent but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But being God manifested in flesh, he still realized he couldn't do it all by himself. No leader, I don't care how great you are, how smart you are, we are not called to do all this by ourselves. Why? Because the Messiah has gave gift to the body. Now, when you first start a ministry, you do a lot of things, but that's not the ultimate goal of the pastor or even Yah himself for us leaders to do every single thing. That's why he gave some apostles, some prophets, some pastors and teachers and evangelists to do the work of the ministry. They are gifts that people have to operate in their gift. So here's God manifested in flesh, Yeshua HaMashiach. He's asking for help. He's asking for help. He said, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Okay, let's see where he's getting that from. Jeremiah chapter 16. We have a mission. Israel's mission has not changed. Israel has been scattered all over the world. Chapter 16, I said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at what verse 14 says.
Therefore, behold, the days come, says Jehovah, that it shall no more be said, Jehovah liveth, that bring up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
Did you hear what I said? No longer. We're not going to be talking about Egypt anymore. Why? Because now that the Messiah has come, he initiated this return of the second Exodus. Go ahead.
But Jehovah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands where he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave into their fathers. Behold, I will send for many fishers, said Jehovah, and they shall fish them, and after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill, out of the holes of the rocks. For my eyes are upon all their ways, they are not hid from my face.
So
Neither
that he said the same thing. He said, I will send for many fishers. So when Yeshua comes on the scene, being Yah manifested in flesh, he said, listen, I'm the one that Jeremiah is talking about. I'm the one that Yah said, behold, the day come. So when he come as looking for fishers and saying, I will make you fishers, they knew exactly what he was talking about. But we just don't. We just don't. That's why we're not familiar with fishers. Let's go to Jeremiah. Why did he use this term? Genesis. Genesis chapter 48. So he said, I'm going to send for many fishers, right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 48. Watch this. This is very important. These are terms that you and I are not familiar with. So this is as Yaakov is getting ready to bless Joseph's sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. And he says here, let's read verse 16.
the angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them, and the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. Now,
what's interesting, the term, when Yeshua says, I will follow me and I will make you fishers of men. They knew this, I'm telling you, they knew this stuff. Because the word grow right here in Hebrew is dagash. It's the word for fish. Dagash, fish. It's the idiom for Ephraim. It's the idiom for Ephraim. Very important to understand that. The strong number, you want to get it, is 1711, to grow. Or it can be the word for multitude. So when he uses this word here, he's using the word to allude to Ephraim. Because Ephraim became part of the northern kingdom. And so There's no it's very difficult. You know, it's in the days of the apostles and the days of Yeshua, they didn't have to work so hard because the people of the book knew the book, so they knew exactly what they was talking about. Me today, I had to drop a lot of stuff because I know people attention span is not long, and so I gotta cut off a lot of stuff because even it's just incredible, Israel. We gotta get discipline in our study, okay? We really do. Let's go to Acts. Because to really teach sound doctrine, I mean, it really become really when you look at what Shaul said in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3, says, for the time come a man will not endure sound doctrine, but will heap to himself. Teachers have itchy ears. Sound doctrine means healthy teaching. Sit down. To be able to it's amazing that our mind is trained that I can go to a movie every weekend and sit there and watch a 2.5 hour movie, never be bored. But yet I can't spend 2 solid hours in the Word. You don't know how much that we have been dumbing down. Really. Now, watch this here. Let's go to Acts, right? This is after the resurrection. So this is after the resurrection. Let's pick it up in verse 3. This is after the resurrection. Yeshua began to continue to talk to them concerning the kingdom. Verse 3. Acts chapter 1, verse 3.
To whom also he shewed himself alive after his passion by many infallible proofs, which seen of them 40 days, and speaking of the things pertaining to the kingdom of Elohim.
Okay, now he's still talking about the kingdom. Still talking about the kingdom. Why? Because Israel did not use, Israel did not lose a republic. Israel did not lose a democratic. We didn't lose none of that. We lost a kingdom. Exodus chapter 19, verse 5. If you hearken to my voice, I will make you a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. That's what we lost. So to this very day, I try to get Israel to understand we are behind enemy land. Don't you ever forget that. Man. So don't ask me nothing about no voting or nothing that. And then so he began to speak to them concerning the kingdom, right? Now listen what this says in verse 6. Verse 6.
When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Jehovah, will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Do you hear what he said? Will thou at this time, now that you have been crucified, now that you have been raised from the dead, man, let's set up the kingdom. Why? Because that's what we lost. We over here in this country. That is not our home. We've been programmed, pledge allegiance to the flag, United States, all those things. We've been programmed. We've been programmed. Psychological damage. That to the point that we don't even crave going back home. Why? Because they have been stripped from us so much that we don't even know where we're from. We say, well, we're from Africa. Yeah, what part of Africa? So it's going to take a miracle from the Most High to stir our hearts up. To cry for the land that we came from. And that's why I'm glad that Mushak say, listen, don't worry, ain't nothing hidden that won't come out. Everything that's in the dark is going to come out. So whoever hide the books, got this and got that, it's coming out. It's coming out. So Peter them said, will thou at this time restore the kingdom? Why? Because the Romans was in power. We have always been afflicted people. But we always survived. We survived in Egypt. We survived in Assyria. We survived in Babylon. And we survived in America. We still here. We ain't going nowhere. The Musha is going to come for his people. So they say, will thou at this time restore the kingdom to who? To Israel. That's the whole nation. We the only nation that was named by the Most High. Huh? We're the only nation. Our name did not come from the earth. It came from the Most High. Thy name shall no more be Yaakov, but Israel. Huh? That's powerful right there. I mean, this book's supposed to encourage us, build us up. But now at this time, restore the kingdom to Israel. What did the Mushah say? Verse 7.
And he said unto them, It is not for you to know the times of the seasons which the Father has put in his own power, but you shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and you shall be witness unto me both in Jerusalem, and in all Judea, and in Samaria, and unto the uttermost part of the earth.
That's power right there. That's the mission. We lost the mission. We've been going here trying to make Christians. We've been duped. We have. But the Ruach, the Spirit of the living God, he knew this was going to happen. But now there is a restoration. There's a restoring. There is a restoration. There's a restoring of the people. How is this thing is going to happen? By the power of his word. By the power of his spirit. Not by our inventions. But by the purpose of the Holy Spirit is to restore the body of Messiah. That's where I got the mission from. What is our mission? To restore the body of Messiah. So Peter doesn't want to know. And you have to ask yourself, why don't we yearn for this here? Well, this stuff has to be stirred in our heart by the Spirit. Once this information gets deep down inside of us, then we begin to cry out, yearn for the things of God. And those things, listen, brothers and sisters, can only become true by the Ruach. It can open our eyes. And the dangers that we cannot allow to happen to us, that we in enemy land, behind enemy line, and get so comfortable. We cannot allow them to buy us peace. We cannot allow prosperity to cause us to lose the fight. We cannot. You cannot have true peace behind enemy land. You cannot. So I know there are those that in power over women, them, the basketball, the football. That's an illusion. You sign a contract, you're still a slave. You're just a $40 million slave. That's what I want to do. I want to share everything that I'm good. Let me say I got one more thing. Let me see. Got to be passionate about teaching, man. Got to be passionate, man. I'm just trying to, I'm gonna show you this a couple of verses here. Let's go to let's close out on Psalms. Psalms 119. I would not be doing this if I didn't believe this by the Ruach Kadesh. I would not be doing this here. I ain't got time playing games, Christian game, Baptist game, Protestant game. Once your eyes have been opened, I ain't got time to be fighting with people from a Christian perspective, Baptist perspective. I don't got time for that. Because first, it ain't your book. It ain't your book. And Psalms 119, listen to what King David says. David, Psalms 119, close out 176. The last verse in Psalms 119. Listen to what King David says.
I have gone astray like a lost sheep. Seek thy servant, for I do not forget thy commandments.
That's powerful right there. It's King David. Once Israel, you understand that we are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We've been scattered abroad. We have no shepherd. You need to pray that Yahweh gives us a shepherd after our own heart. And that's all I crave. That's all I want. And my job, according to the scripture of the Most High, is to feed the sheep. I will give you shepherds after my own heart. So that's the bottom line. And to that, as we continue to build on the shepherds of Israel, what we were like. I think I'm going to close out on that one. Probably going to touch on some different. One more thing. We check out something before I close out. Very important, guys. Very important in these days. Because the wolves are rising up. They're looking for prey. They're looking for prey. And because we are desperate people, I've been seeing some shameful stuff on YouTube, man. I'm not going to talk about it. Let's pray. Abba, we just thank you right now for your goodness. And I pray, Abba, that you said to Jeremiah that you were to our fathers who was in rebellion. The shepherds wasn't right. The people wasn't living right because the shepherds wasn't right. And the Mushak pointed out the issue with our people was that we was sheep without a shepherd. And the shepherds that do come our way, they are hauling. They're only doing it for the money. But there are good shepherds in Israel that lay down their life for the sheep. That are not doing it for the money, nor the fame, nor the prosperity. So my prayer is that I will be one of the shepherds that is after your own heart. And that I will feed the flock of Israel. That I will be willing to lay down my life for the sheep. So I just thank you right now. Fill my spirit. Pour out your spirit in me. Enlarge my heart. That I may continue to pray for all those that sit under my voice, Abba. That the word will go forth, penetrate their heart, and that we will not be a rebellion people as our fathers was. I will say, as the apostles them asked, will thou at this time restore the kingdom to Israel? Let it happen. If not in our days, Abba, let it happen in the days of our children. But you know, Abba, that we will never find rest and peace in the land of our captivity. No, we won't. No, we won't. So we ask that you send the Mushak. Send your Ruach to lead us and guide us. Strengthen thy people who are scattered abroad. You are the good shepherd, the stone of Israel. Our confidence is in you. To us a child is born, and to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and the increase of his government there shall be no end. You said in your word that thou would give us fame in all the land that thou hast scattered us. Let it happen, Abba. Our confidence is in you, for thou is not a man that thou shalt lie. We bless your holy name. Hallelujah. Come on, Elijah.
I'm already here.
You already here? Already here. Israel, let us stand as we pronounce the running blessing. May Jehovah bless thee and keep thee. May Jehovah make his face shine upon thee and be glorious to thee. May Jehovah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. May Jehovah destroy all the chaos in your life, Israel. We bless you, Abba. Bless you. Praise your holy name. Amen and amen.
Amen.
God, we thank y'all for tuning in. If the Most High said the same, we'll see you back here Thursday. And yes, the most holiest day of the week is the Shabbat. If the Most High said the same, we'll be gathered here once again on the Shabbat. Hallelujah.